Welcome to this February update of Movie World on the Gold Coast. Starting straight off the bat with three major ride closures of DC rivals, Green Lantern and Superman Escape. It is off-peak season now, so this is to be expected. However, with the first two rides you see when you enter Movie World being fenced off with green bush fencing, it is jarring and not a good first impression for guests. If the rides were just left with a sign noting their closure, I feel it wouldn't have been such a burden. However, the rides are closed regardless. After starting off poor, I headed over to the Spooky Coaster, which was open. Then I made my way to the Wild West Falls. A new test seat is at the front of the attraction, however not open at the moment. During its downtime, it appears a lot of landscaping cleanup has been done as the ride is looking in immaculate condition, and so is all the trees and bush surrounding the ride. About 10:15 the first riders were boarded, meaning the ride did open 15 minutes late to guests, but no big deal. The trains have been updated with lap bars and a fresh modern look while still keeping with the old western look. Wild West Falls is still most likely the best themed attraction in Australia. Back to the low light, and the front of the ride isn't available for use. At the front of the attraction, a sign states the ride is running at a reduced capacity, which explains what's happening for guests. It's nice to see them being honest about it instead of blaming it on COVID, which they could have easily done. Inside the queue, some cleaning up needs to be done with bottles sitting inside the theming perimeter. The loader of the ride now has their own booth, and the ride vehicle now stops instead of continuing to move while guests board. The new Wild West gates are a nice way to keep people from entering and are a nice addition from the previous chain that stopped guests. This means guests can now be pre-loaded by a sorter, which should improve efficiency. New rails have been installed in the stations and it all lifts, and the crane animatronic now works before the first lift. And lots of new audio can be heard throughout the ride, most notably dogs barking. I didn't record past this point, but the Wild West Town section of the ride had none of the swinging gates or water tower animatronics working, and there was also a ride audio upgrade which made it clearer and more immersive. Moving on to the Batman Legacy Precinct, it was same as all the other showcases in terms of layout, however with Batman content. You can skip ahead and skip this part or enjoy the video. New signage indicates the wait time in a nicer looking way than before, with a plug for the virtual queue through the Village Theme Parks app. Entertainment still frequents the park. Moving over to the kids section, Roadrunner has now been repainted. The train is brand new with lap bars similar to the Wild West Falls, and a new brake system which doesn't stop the train completely like it did before. It's also a new audio system provided a soundtrack throughout the ride. With the closure of the arcade, some machines have been moved into the driving school area. This is a great opportunity for revenue, and all machines are fitted with a card reader, making them easy money makers. All rides in the Looney Tunes kids area looked good with a fresh coat of paint. It's also worth noting there are a bunch of small details and theming on these kids rides which really sets them apart from other kids rides. Space Jam merchandise can be found throughout the park, which capitalizes off the new movie's release. Rivals was a 45-minute wait with only one train running. The misters in the queue were working well in cooling down guests. Bushes have been added that separate the general queue and the Ride Express queue. This is a welcome addition in stopping people from walking down the wrong way. Now for a ride dispatch time, the dispatch to dispatch time was roughly 4.5 minutes, which is quite long for the main draw of a park. However, with only one train, this was a display of good efficiency from staff. With an extra train, operations would have been better, however. It should be noted that Movie World has a great range of extra upsells and a magnificent ride photo and video system. And that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.